Hey guys, so I wanted to do a quick kind of walkthrough slash review of adam.ai. Um, Normally I don't do this for AppSumo deals. I've bought over 100 and this is probably the first one that I've done, but adam.ai was such a mixed bag for me. I really, really liked it, but there were a few drawbacks, and I thought, there's very little out there on this software, so why not throw together a quick screen flow and share it with you. But if I'm not going to show you the AppSumo deal page or any of that. If you're here looking at this, you've already been there. So when you log into adam.ai, you're presented with your projects, and you can see here I've created a few projects. I've played around with this for just a little bit. And so your project might be, a website or a SaaS you're working on. Maybe you're even a coach. I do a little coaching, and so I went ahead and created a coaching project. And so we'll just go ahead and just create one real quick. We'll give this a title. So the reason why we're starting with projects is because all meetings are based on projects. You create a project and then you create your meetings based on that. And so what we do here is we just create a project title. Um, let's see here. There's one that I might be working on here real soon, and that is for a pregnancy resources locally here. We'll just call it that. I like to name my projects if I'm building a website based on the URL. So we'll give it a start date of yesterday. And if you're giving it a time here, we'll say we're going to have that done in 2 weeks. That won't happen. So each project you give a color code. So if you're like me and you like to separate your projects based on colors, because maybe one is for one particular business, one for another, you can give it a color code. Now, one of the drawbacks here is you're only limited to 6 colors, and so it would really be great if Adam AI added more colors or allowed you to do a color picker or something like that. But you choose between one of 6 colors. You can give it a code if you want, give it a location, um, and then you can give it a description. So in this case, the client is wanting a new donor website. So we'll go next. Now here what you do is you add members, and these are the members that will have access to the project and to your meetings, um, which is great. So a drawback time right here is you can't add members that aren't already part of your Adam AI. They call it a meet space. You can't do that from here. You can only add members that have already accepted an invitation to your meet space. So that's a little bit of a gripe that I'll talk about in a little bit. So we're going to create the project. So now we have a new project right here, and it's for this website. And let's say we've got a briefing meeting coming up. You would go to meetings. You would then create a meeting, and we'll just call it site briefing. You choose your project, in which case that is one right there. So we'll just say this meeting is by phone. We're going to be meeting next Wednesday, let's say. Now, right here, this is European dating. If you're not savvy with that, that can throw you off, 15-1. I think most people in America would be a little thrown off by that. If this was changed to an American style dating, that would be really nice. Give your meeting a time. Let's say it's at 10 a.m. It's not going till 5 a.m. It's just going to go till 11 a.m. So, all right. So this allows you to choose your video conferencing. Now, the only option right now is Zoom. It would be awesome if Vectera was available. So if any of you Adam AI guys watch this, an integration with Vectera would be wonderful because it was a massive AppSumo deal, so many people on that. And then meeting objective, you know, We go next. Again, you can only add members that are already members of your meet space, which is sort of like your account. I'm not going to choose anybody here. And so there we are. You can add guests. Now, I'm not even quite sure what the point of adding a guest is, because if you go to their help files, you'll see that guest only receives an invitation email to be invited to the meeting, but so far has no access to view the meeting on the system. So adding a guest here, I'm not even quite sure the point. What the point is, if the guest really can't do anything. So we're going to create, and then we can go to all. Okay, and then you would see the meeting for the site briefing. I mean, just really quick, you're going to get all the good and the bad with this little walkthrough. But when you go to your meetings, by default it goes to today, and then you can look at this week, this month, all. It would be great, honestly, and you can disagree with me, but if all of your meetings just showed up here and there was a simple search, just a really simple search, because as it is, what you do is you can go to all, and then you can do this filters thing. It would be so much easier if just you went to your meetings, they all showed up, and you did a simple one-line search. I think that would be a lot faster. That would eliminate a little bit of clicking for both the projects and the meetings. So like, let's say you go to your projects, if this was just a one-line search bar and you can just start typing and then have them show up, that would be, in my opinion, a lot easier than having to kind of click all and then do your filters. But that's that, because you're greeted by an empty page, no meetings yet. At the very least, it should default to all instead of today, this week, this month. But it would be nice if there was just a quick search there. And then if you have actions, they would show up here. My actions, all. You can create actions, and then if you have your files and your members. Okay, so let me go back over here to, let's go to projects. Sorry about all the clicking around. So let's just say you go to a project. You got a couple cool things here. You have number of meetings, you have your actions, you have decisions if you make them. And then it has this really cool timeline where you can go and see, okay, well, we've got a meeting here. If you have more meetings there, and then you have your meeting agenda. All right. So that's really cool. I really like that. And if I'm, collaborating with somebody, or if I have a coaching client that's on here, they can go back and see all of the coaching calls that we've done, and click on the meeting and, see the notes and things. And that is really cool. But let's go back really quick to meetings. And I'm sorry if I'm just kind of whizzing through this. Let's go through here and let's look at the meetings. I just kind of wanted to show you, when you click on one of the meetings, you'll see over here the agenda and meeting objective and that sort of thing. And so you can view the meeting and edit it. So right here you would see the agenda. This is a meeting that hasn't happened yet. Here's one thing. Again, developers, if you're listening, when you create an agenda, there it is. However, there is no way to save that agenda as a template. It would be amazing if, once you created an agenda, that you could save that agenda as a template so that you don't have to type in I mean, how many website briefs do you have? And do you want to go through and type up the agenda, the same thing, over and over again? It'd be wonderful if you could save the agenda as a template, maybe over here or whatever, and then just call up that template rather than having to retype the agenda every time you create a meeting. So I do really, really like this. I like that there's a start and a stop. One other really cool thing with meetings is that you could do a quick meeting. And so how many times do you get a phone call that kind of turns into a meeting? And here you have a place to just sort of like, oh, this phone call is more than just a call to say hi. This is turning into a meeting where you can just start it. You can just type in your notes, create your actions, and then you have this on sort of on file to refer back to. Which, if you're anything like me, you tend to type your meeting notes down like in NoteJoy or on a spiral notepad, and then you can't find your notes later. So I really like this quick meeting feature. So one of the things, and all of this, is great. There's no real deal breakers here, but one of the things for me that is really, really kind of sticky, it's a kind of a sticking point for me, is the whole members thing. So here you have members, and what you do is you create a member, you add their email address basically, and then it shoots out an invitation. Now, you got to see this invitation email. This is what the person gets. So, if you're part of like a larger business and everybody on the business knows that you're going to Adam.ai, awesome. But if you're meeting with somebody with like a sales meeting who doesn't know what Adam.ai is, or if you're meeting with a client and they get this and it says, hey, Leah has invited you to join your team's meet place in Spark Media, okay? This is just so heavily branded with Adam.ai stuff and says so little about your company and what they're getting. I could see this really being confusing for prospects or clients or even coaching clients who get something that looks like this, and then when you click get started, it takes you to a really heavily branded Adam.ai thing. And so obviously this is invalid because it's already been confirmed. But they come to something like this, and there's none of your branding on here. There's nothing that says that they're logging onto your company's meet space. And so this I could see how it would get really confusing if it's not sort of like, oh, okay, everybody in the company has already got the memo, we're moving to Adam.ai. And then when they get to when they log on, so this would be somebody that a member that I have invited, they're greeted with like this, and they get a little walkthrough, and that's great. But like, why would I need one of my prospects, or why would I need my coaching client to have the ability to create projects and meetings? What they should be greeted with is basically the project. And you can't assign your client to a project until after they have confirmed their invitation and accepted that. And so I think it would be great to have a user level where when they log on, all they see is the project, all they see is the meetings. They shouldn't be able to access the members page or all the anyway. I think that the member add-on, that portion of this, when you're bringing on clients and you're inviting them to Adam.ai, it's a little confusing, it's a little wonky. You should just be able to invite them to the project. When they log in, they see the project and the meetings and nothing else. So this experience for clients is a little bumpy for me, and so probably how I'll use the system is just simply for me. I might just refund one of my codes and go back to the 20 members thing and just use it for my personal notes, because I think that when bringing clients on and bringing prospects on, it gets a little confusing for them. And so that's what I have to say about that. So all in all, here's the thing. I'm going to keep it because I really like this. I do wish that it integrated with Vectera, and I do wish that it integrated with Plutio, because I think it would be awesome when you're in a meeting and you're assigning actions, that those actions or those projects would sync up with a Plutio project and add tasks to the Plutio Kanban. I think that would be just off the charts. And then one last thing that I really like about this system is the minutes. So it's great to be able to just take your meeting notes or your minutes, especially if you do any coaching, to be able to take your coaching notes and just see them, see what they look like. So yeah, I'll just give you that really quick before I jump off here. But let's just say here we've got this website brief. Let's just let's see here. Sorry. So we'll go here, go to our public minutes. And then you've got a really nice, you know, minutes. You've got something really nice that your client can download or that you can even send to your client if you're not going to give your clients access. So I really do like the minutes. I think that's a major plus. So that's about it. Thank you for watching.